everyone, Happy New Year. I thought that I could kick off the new year by showing how I use my hobonichi. And I use the A6 hobonichi. It's become really thick throughout the year. When I travel with my hobonichi, I carry it in this soolla bag that I got recently through a friend as a Christmas gift. In the front of the soolla bag, there are these sections that you can keep your most used tools in. And here I keep my mini scissors from Daiso, these tweezers that I got from Daiso as well, and my favorite pen to use when journaling in the hobonichi, which is the Pilot 0.3 Juice Up. On the side, I have some keychains that I got from friends. One of them is Hunter x Hunter, Killua, and Gon. And one of them is Luffy, Nami, and Zoro from One Piece. The back looks like this. I haven't quite figured out how to use these sections yet, but I have used them to carry around charging cables that I need when I travel. But on the inside, I will usually keep my hobonichi in here like this. I also keep my most used stickers in here. I also keep some tape because it's useful when I want to incorporate a receipt or something like that in my journal entry. So that's the soolla bag. I started using the hobonichi this year. Before that, I wasn't really able to stick to a journal for the whole year. I've tried using the traveler's notebook and the midori notebook as well, but nothing has quite worked out as well as this hobonichi. This cover was decorated by some art that I found on Pinterest and things that are representative of the things that I want to focus on this year. I wanted to travel more, and so I had a train here, eating healthy for groceries, listening to more music. And on the back, I have some of my favorite childhood anime for Sailor Moon and Shogochara. I used to have a keychain that I attached to the side here, but that fell off because the pen slot was a bit too small for the pen that I use. On the inside cover, I just have this sticker that I got of Shin-chan and his dog. It says June's book. This is me at work, and so I really liked that. I didn't do much with this yearly view. I thought it was helpful to see the view quickly with no markup, so I didn't put anything on here. I used to track my habits. I would abbreviate them so that nobody but me would know what these actually meant. I found myself losing track a lot, especially as I traveled more. If you can see here, it says lost track, will lock in again, lol. When I went on my LA trip, I lost track of these habits. And then throughout the year, I lost track more and more. And so it just became something that I didn't do. And so I think I want to find a way to repurpose this page this year. With the monthly views, I like to draw something that is representative of what happened that day. I also like to slot in travel times. This is March. This page I wanted to show because in September I had gotten my wisdom teeth and COVID. I also had things happening in my personal life that didn't let me keep up with my journal as much. So I wanted to show this page as a very realistic representation of what journaling can look like. I don't try to pressure myself to go back and write for these days, unless there is something that I really want to remember. There I wrote my reflection from the last year and some of my main themes and goals for 2025. The Hobonichi A6 has a section before every month, and that is where I usually put my monthly goals. And so these goals play into the bigger goals of 2025, and I try to have one of each theme so that I know that I'm achieving those bigger goals that I outlined in the beginning of the year. I don't feel afraid to just leave these goals undone. If I manage to get them done in a later month, then I'll go back and cross them out. So I've done this. I did this in November, but my first goal of it was in May. And so you can see that these goals are not necessarily tied to the specific month that they're in. And I made this page. I found it on Pinterest and I laminated it with tape. So I will put this here and mark it so that I don't have to flip through the whole book to get to my current day. For the days specifically, I usually write things that I did that day. This is an example of what each day looks like. The end of the hobonichi has a section with just regular pages, and here on the first page I decided to put my financial goals that I'll blur out for personal reasons. And then I have a reading list of all the things that I've read this year and the shows, dramas, movies, and songs that I really enjoyed this year. It's also a great place to keep little fragments of memory that you don't know where to put. I don't really use the end section here, but I try to use the moments that made me laugh, which I think I'm going to do more often next year because looking back at this does make me laugh. And then the back cover, it's somehow become a collection of the fictional men that I have crushes on. And I love Brudak, so the Brudak icon is here. That is how I used the hobonichi last year. I thought I could show my process of unboxing and setting up this planner. This year I got the A6 in English starting in January. So let's open this. In the pouch, there are 3 things: the planner, a pamphlet explaining all the products that they have under the hobonichi line, and an intro to the hobonichi planner. Let's see if anything is different. The page introducing each month, each daily page, the blank pages you can do anything with. Oh, and a new section for memories. And then instead of noodles, it's mochi this year. And an explanation of the Shinkansen. I'm going to be using the same cover that I used last year. I can link this in the description below. But I just get the Midori A6 notebook cover and find that it works pretty well. I like the clear covers because I can still have the flexibility of decorating it myself. One con about this cover is that my pen, it was a little too big for this section. So this year I just won't be using this at all. And another con is that it's kind of hard to get the cover onto the book. And so I like to have everything extremely secure and taped on before, or glued on before I try to put the cover on. To decorate my cover, I compile some images that I think will represent my next year, usually in black and white because that's kind of the style that I like. The A6 hobonichi is quite small, and so it takes a couple tries for me to get the right size from my Google Docs view versus the actual printed view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out. I've cut out all of my prints. Let me try laying out the design in the way that I want them. I'm gonna see if this tape lasts, and if not, I'll probably glue it down. Since this one is in a regular shape, I'm gonna try to as much tape on it as possible because I found that the more corners that it has, the more likely it is to peel off. Okay, I think the front and the back covers are done. I will cut this portion out. So let me try putting on the cover. This is kind of the most difficult part. And this part is usually pretty easy. And the back cover is painful, but you kind of have to bend the hobonichi for it to go in. There's probably a better case out there, but I haven't really found something that has bang for the buck like this. So this will be my hobonichi for 2026. The last thing I'll do is cut out this part so that it can be my replacement bookmark. This has served me well, but I do want to refresh for the new year. So this is now ready to use as a page marker for my new journal. So I imagine it would go something like this. That was all I had prepared for this video. If you would like to see any other hobonichi journal related content, let me know and comment down below. But I hope everyone has a happy and warm New Year's. Thank you.